How's it going, guys, and welcome back. In this video, we're going to be checking out in depth how the community boards work in Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. Starting with the very basics, we have 7 different community boards which we unlock as we progress through the story. The final one, which is the 7th one, you unlock just before you go to Namek, so they're all pretty early game. First up, we have the Sea Warriors, or the Said Warriors, depending on which side of the fence you're on that argument, but that's not what this video is about. This one is going to be your basic offensive community board. Moving on to the second one, we have the cooking community, which is exactly what it sounds like. This is going to increase the chances of making more successful meals, making the meal effects last longer, and even increasing the stat boost you get from eating these meals, which in my opinion is actually the second best of all the community boards, which we'll probably go into a little bit later. Next up, we have the training community. As you can see, I am very heavily invested in this one straight from early game for pretty obvious reasons. This one is the one that focuses on getting extra XP out of battle. So it's kind of a no-brainer doing this one as early as possible over some of the other ones. I've even allocated a lot of the characters who aren't optimal inside this community board, which again, we'll get into in just a second. But first, let's move on. Then we get the development community. This is actually the 7th one you unlock. And this one is going to be directed towards building mainly vehicles. Next up, we have Community of the Gods. This one is directed at getting more orbs, which at least in early to mid game is not very necessary, especially if you're doing a lot of side quests and stuff. You can have way too many orbs, considering how little of the board you have unlocked to spend your orbs on until you progress further through the story. So for that reason, so far Community of the Gods hasn't really been too appealing to me. Maybe in late game farming when you're just grinding out to unlock all of the special attacks, maybe this becomes more useful. Then we have Master Roshi's community, which is the adult community. This one is directed at getting more money and getting items cheaper and everything related to money. And then finally, the adventure community is all about having extra health points as well as making the recovery items effect more powerful. So those are all 7 of the community boards. So how do they actually work? Well, first of all, we need to know about these items called the Soul Emblems. Each character has one, and most of them are unlocked by doing submissions, which are the blue markers on the map, the side quests, the optional missions, whatever you want to call them. So I'll definitely recommend doing as many of these sub-stories as possible, just because a lot of them, if not most of them, are actually missable. If you progress too far in the story, you won't be able to do them, which means you're going to miss out on a lot of Soul Emblems. And as we'll see in just a second, having a large amount of Soul Emblems is going to be really, really important in this game. So the fact that you can miss out on so many of them in early game is pretty incredible, because a lot of people probably just skip over the side quests, not even realizing they can't do them afterwards. Maybe there is a way in late game or post game to recover or get some of the Soul Emblems that you missed by not doing the sub-stories. If that is the case, once I finish the game, I'll leave it in the description down below or somewhere in the comments. But for now, just make sure you're doing all those blue quest marks. Now if we check out the Soul Emblem details, let's use Tenchi-Han here for an example, as I've been leveling him up quite a bit. He has a different community level for each one of the community boards. Each character is going to start with obviously a higher level in a specific community board compared to others. Obviously, Tenchi-Han started with a pretty high level already in the training community board. That's why I focused him on that. And then by giving the characters gifts, we can actually increase the community level of any of the community boards we want. So even though Tenchi-Han is initially directed to boost up the training community board, by using gifts such as the Book for Grown-Ups, we can actually get his adult community level up as well, and he can be really useful in any community board. So there's no specific character intended specifically for one board. You can pretty much max out all of the characters eventually. So now we understand a little bit about the Soul Emblems, let's jump back into the community boards themselves. So let's empty off the cooking community board here just to use an example. So as we can see here, by just having Chi-Chi in the cooking community, we have rank 2, which means we get all of the bonuses here up until rank 2, which means meal success rate plus 10% and meal effect duration plus 25%. And then at the top it says, to the next rank we need 15 extra levels in the cooking community. So to do this, we just need to click in any of the empty spaces. And here below each of the Soul Emblems, we'll be able to see a number. This number indicates how many levels that Soul Emblem will increase into that specific community board. So in this case, it's the cooking one. Turtle is a really good match for this. So by placing Turtle here, it brings the overall level up to 20, meaning we only need 5 more levels placed on the board to be able to get to rank 3 and get the next bonus. So if we come into the Soul Emblems again and find another character which has a high level in the cooking community, Launch for example, place her down here, and this will bring the cooking community up to rank 3, unlocking the next of the community skills. So that's the basics behind how it works and how we unlock the community skills, but there's a few more things that come into play here. So if we come over here to the training community, a bit of a side note, because some of you are probably wondering why I have all of these characters here, even the ones that are only adding like 1 or 2. into the training community where they should really be better off placed somewhere else. Well, the reason for this is because early game I didn't have enough gifts or enough characters with high enough training community level to get the community rank high enough to get the plus 15 battle XP by just using the, let's say, intended characters for this board. So until I managed to get the training community level up of specific characters, I just opted to spam all of the characters into here as much as possible, just to get that extra battle XP early game, which was just really, really important to me. But soon we'll be able to start removing some like the Ox King, for example, who really doesn't even need to be here anymore. But now we've cleared that up, let's check out something else, which are the combo bonuses. As you can see, beside the white number, that's the level they grant into this community board, there's going to be a yellow number as well. The yellow number beside the plus icon is due to the combo bonuses by placing them and linking them between specific characters. So to see which characters actually combo together or bonus together, all we need to do is press the touchpad on PS4. We can see a list here of all of the characters that if we place them together, will actually grant an extra bonus, an extra 2 points usually. So some of them are pretty obvious, like the Master and Student here, for example, Piccolo and Gohan. By just placing them next to each other, they both get an extra +2, which is really good, especially when you combo them together. Tenshinhan is actually getting +5 because it's getting the combo off of being with Yamcha, and also by being in a combo with this trio just here. Yamcha is in the same situation, he's actually getting the bonus off of 2 links as well. So I believe that is pretty much everything you need to know about the community boards and the soul emblems in Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. If you do have any other questions related to this topic that we didn't cover in this video, please do leave them in the comments down below and I will try to answer them as soon as I can. If you did find this video helpful, don't forget that thumbs up button, subscribe for more content coming very soon, and we'll see you next time.